Ian witnessed with his own eyes the death of his wife Mansha in a car accident. However, when he woke up the next day, he was horrified to find his deceased wife sleeping beside him. Ian was so shocked that he couldn't speak. He couldn't believe how his dead wife could appear right before his eyes.
Now I'm gonna hug you.
It wasn't until Ian felt his wife's genuine warmth that his startled heart finally settled down. Ian held his wife tightly in his arms as if he had obtained a precious treasure, so he vowed to cherish the opportunity given by God to love her once more. He excitedly told his wife about everything that happened yesterday, but his wife only comforted him, saying it was just a dream. However, he soon discovered that everything from yesterday seemed to be happening again. His wife even said the same words as yesterday, and he inexplicably wore the same suit he had worn the day before. This made Ian feel uneasy. So when he decided to change into another suit, he remembered that yesterday, his wife burned her hand with a kettle while making breakfast. But when Ian hurried over to remind her, his wife picked up a handkerchief for protection. Fortunately, yesterday's scene did not repeat itself, and Ian's uneasy heart finally settled down. But what happened next made Ian realize that things were far from simple. Because while the couple was being intimate, his wife got burned by a curling iron, and the injured location on her hand was exactly the same as yesterday's. Instantly, a sense of unease surged through his heart, making Ian immediately doubt his previous judgment. To verify his guess again, on the way to work, Ian suggested trying a new route. Because he clearly remembered that yesterday, his wife was splashed with coffee all over by a passerby on that road. But just as Ian thought he could avoid the mishap by changing the route, the two people who spilled coffee yesterday drove by again. Ian instinctively protected his wife behind him, but yesterday's coffee spilling scene did not happen, as his wife said. Perhaps it was really just a dream, but just as he let his guard down, his wife was splashed head-on by a passerby who happened to be walking by. Seeing his wife covered in coffee, Ian finally understood that what he experienced yesterday was not a dream at all. What was meant to happen would still happen, just at a different time and in a different way. From wearing the same suit himself to the location of his wife's burn and the coffee-stained clothes in front of him, everything was verifying his guess one by one. However, Mansha thought it was just a dream. To prove it wasn't a dream, he told his wife that his watch would be broken on the way to work.
Oh, on the way to my meeting my watch cracks.
To ease Ian's concerns, Mansha decided to accompany Ian to the company. They arrived at the company building and saw that Ian's watch was still intact. Only then did Mansha feel relieved and leave. To reconfirm what happened yesterday, Ian went to the billiard hall where he broke a glass yesterday. This time, he easily caught the cue ball. It was just as he thought. What was meant to happen would still happen, just in a different order. At this moment, he looked at the billiard ball and suddenly thought of something. He hurried out of the bar, hailed a taxi outside, but when he got in the car, he found that the taxi driver was the same driver from yesterday, and his wife had the car accident in this car. Ian anxiously asked the driver for a solution, but the driver only told him,
"Just one thing. An appreciator. And what you have. Better hurry up. You haven't got much time."
Ian didn't have time to think much and ran all the way. He found his wife in his friend's store. He wanted to take his wife and flee the city. He let his wife buy a ticket and go wherever she wanted to go. It wasn't until he saw the scenery along the way becoming more and more familiar that Ian realized his wife's most desired destination was actually his hometown. Mansha wanted to see Ian's parents and the school Ian attended as a child. Ian held back his tears. Only then did he know how much his wife loved him. The two walked on the little path home when suddenly it started pouring rain. They hurriedly ran into a cabin on the hilltop. Just as Ian was about to burn firewood for warmth, his arm accidentally hit the stove. He carefully rolled up his sleeve, and what he feared had happened. The glass of his watch was shattered. At this moment, he finally determined that no matter how hard he tried, what was meant to happen would still come. With tears in his eyes, he asked his wife,
If you had one day left, what would you do?
It's an easy answer. A no-brainer. I'd spend it with you.